Hey, what's up, everybody? Josh here. Welcome to the R-Rated Show. And we're going to talk about Ghostbusters. Finally, I've been meaning to talk about Ghostbusters for a while on this channel because I am a huge Ghostbusters fan. I grew up in the 80s. I was 7 when the original Ghostbusters came out, okay? I am a huge Ghostbusters fan. Love the original. Ghostbusters 2, love it. Not as much the original. The original was lightning in a bottle. The second one was just kind of more Ghostbuster stuff. It was essentially a remake of the first movie. And of course, went to go see Ghostbusters 2016 Answer the Call. And it was so bad, I literally left the theater 3/4 of the way through and got a refund. I mean, it was really bad. I cannot stand that movie. And I've tried to rewatch it a couple times. See if it'll grow on me. Does not grow on me. So it's just weird. Don't make me get into that, please. So we got a trailer today for Ghostbusters 3, which completely ignores that movie, the last one, and brings it back to the timeline and canon of the original 2 movies. And essentially, I think the name Afterlife is attached to Egon Spengler. And they're definitely wanting to honor Egon Spengler in this movie, or write the script around that character. Egon Spengler, I mean, you can't have Ghostbusters without Egon, okay? All right? And it's important to acknowledge Egon in this movie. And so it seems like they've decided to write the movie around him and how, I guess, his daughter and grandson or just sort of hit the skids, and then Egon had left them a house out on this farm where I guess he stashed all his old school Ghostbusters gear. I guess we'll find out what happened to Ghostbusters after Ghostbusters 2, and I guess they left it in the past in the 80s. Once they vanquished evil, from rising to the mortal plane, they hung everything up because, the first time was saving the world, second time was a fluke. And then there was nothing after that. So, it's a modern day tale of the Ghostbusters legacy. And they're handing it off to, I guess, essentially kids. Because it seems like Egon's grandson is the central figure here. And, they're right at that Stranger Things, Goonies age. So it's going to be a kids movie, I guess. And we're going to get Paul Rudd, who plays an over-enthusiastic Ghostbusters fanboy teacher. I guess he's going to be our tie-in to the past. And, the guy who's going to give the important exposition to the new generation of moviegoers, the new crowd who doesn't really know who Ghostbusters is beyond that travesty of a movie 3 years ago. So, let's just take a look at the trailer real quick. I got it right here. And the trailer was pretty good. I thought,
honestly, my mom won't say it, but we're completely.
I thought it was a little bit lacking. I was expecting a little bit more thrill for a 2.5-minute trailer, but they're giving us essentially the story elements. They're definitely telling us that Egon's in this in his presence. But so here we see, I'm assuming this is Egon Spengler's daughter. They're talking about, being broke, having to move out to this farmhouse that he bequeathed them in his will, I guess. And it's this old sort of dinged up farmhouse, Victorian farmhouse. Let's get a good shot of the Spengler offspring here. I guess what you would expect for Egon Spengler's grandson. I mean, he's very, a nerdy kid or whatever. Very effeminate, though. That was kind of weird. I almost thought it was a girl for a minute. Like, it kind of has that sort of 11 from Stranger Things vibe, like tomboy, but feminine. Very feminine for even like a young nerdy guy. But so essentially they hit the skids. They got to go out to this farmhouse, and I guess he makes a group of new friends out here, and all the Ghostbusters equipment is stashed out in this barn, I guess, including the ecto one, a proton pack, a trap. But how it all ties in and how they discover everything is yet to be seen, and why. Well, let's keep watching.
What is that?
Okay, so here we see what looks like evil. Maybe there's a river of slime down there. I don't know, but evil sort of emanating up from this well-like cavern in the ground. And so, the question is, like, did Egon have an accident or bury did he have to dispose of some ghosts, and did he bury them, in a container underground, and, like, did they broke free or something? Or, why did the paranormal come to this town? Why are there ghosts there? Interesting. It's intriguing.
Somehow, a town that isn't anywhere near a tectonic plate, that has no fault, no fracking, no loud music even, is shaking on a daily.
So strange things are afoot in this small town. Essentially, the rumblings of the paranormal are there, and so these kids are going to have to assume the roles of Ghostbusters. We're really curious to see how Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray are going to tie into this whole thing, and then Sigourney Weaver as well. I'm probably more curious about how Sigourney Weaver ties into all this, but it's hinted later on in the trailer that Gozer is going to be an element in all this too. So maybe there's some sort of revenge thing going on, but. That didn't land. That joke didn't land, but whatever. I don't think it's going to be, hopefully not going to be indicative of the writing on this thing. It's hard to top Bill Murray and Harold Ramis in the 80s, though, so.
I found this in my living room.
Whoa, killer replica.
A replica of what?
See, that's a dude, right? That's a boy, right? Or is it a girl? I mean, sometimes it looks like a boy. Sometimes I honestly cannot tell if that's a boy or a girl. I don't know. Maybe I can look at IMDb.
A ghost trap?
So yeah, a ghost trap. Like, obviously they're reintroducing everything here. Like, most of the young generation are probably gonna go see this movie won't know what a ghost trap is, what a proton pack is. Even if they saw Ghostbusters 2016, we're going back to the old school equipment and all that. So they're going to have to tell us what everything is again. Fine with that,
There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years. New York in the 80s? It's like The Walking Dead. Your dad never mentioned this to you?
It's just my mom.
No dad in the picture. So we don't know if he was Egon's son that died, or is this his daughter and the father died?
My grandfather died.
So he's got the old ectometer or whatever, and I thought that was a cool little thing. One of Egon Spengler's best lines is they say, "What do you do for fun?" And he's like, "I collect spores, molds, and fungus." Well, this is an obvious callback to that. They're just telling us this movie is about Egon Spengler, This must have been his little workshop. Although I do find it kind of hard to believe that Spengler would leave his, ghost-busting equipment, especially a proton pack. I hope they explain how he died. Maybe it was a sudden thing, but would he really leave a proton pack laying out? Somebody could hurt themselves. I mean, I know he was concerned a little bit with safety.
Who are you?
Boom! Get the Spengler reveal of the old school jumper suits with the names. Yes, love that.
Call it fate.
And we get the Bill Murray voiceover is from the original movie, of course, when they're at the University of Columbia, and he's convincing stance to throw money in. Are they just gonna form this paranormal ghost busting thing? It's from that scene, and of course we love it because we love Ghostbusters.
I believe that everything happens for a reason.
That's a girl, right? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? That's a girl, right? If that's not a boy, that's the most feminine looking preteen I've ever seen. Preteen dude I've ever seen. So that was cool. I don't care either way. If it's a girl, cool. But I can't figure it out. It's kind of annoying me. We get Gozer, or is that one of the phantom dogs from the original movie, reappearing here, which is great. Gatekeeper or the Keymaster or whatever. One thing I'm really disappointed about is that they couldn't get Rick Moranis back for this. And, of all the movies in his career to come back for, to, come out of retirement for, Ghostbusters, come on, dude. Come on. Don't be a dick. They really, if they had gotten Rick Moranis back in this, that would have been incredible. Sigourney Weaver, great. Bill Murray, great. Everybody goes on and on about Bill Murray, and yeah, he's a big part of this, but Rick Moranis really brought something to it as well. So it would have been amazing if they had managed to get him back, but he's just not working anymore. So
Come on, darling.
one thing I was wondering was, why does the side of the barn say dirt in yellow? What does this mean exactly? Why is that there? Seems like maybe... My guess was maybe some of the local kids are picking on the new kid in town. Otherwise, why would they put dirt on the side of the barn? And they're busting out the Ecto one. Nice. This is a cool shot. Love that. The little reveal of the side seat. Look, and is that Slimer? I don't think that's Slimer. First of all, Slimer's greener than this. And that's not Slimer's face. Slimer has a really big head and a really distinct face. So it's Slimer-esque, but I don't think that's Slimer. But it's cool to see some ghost action. Great to hear the siren of the Ecto one too. Ghostbusters. Afterlife. Alright. Cool. Right? So I thought it was a little bit lacking. I want a little something to really give me that nostalgia boner, to really get me and draw me into the new thing. But I think it's a good trailer. I think this is definitely 1,000 times better than the Shitbusters trailer we got. When I first saw that one, I was like, ooh. And I was like, well, let's just see how the movie is, and, let's give it the benefit of the doubt, and the movie was fucking awful. I literally walked out of that movie. It's so bad. I don't think any true Ghostbusters fan loves that movie, and it's I feel bad because, Dan Aykroyd and company, the Ivan Reitman and stuff, they have to, pretend Paul Feig's part of the family in the shitty movies, because they don't want to, they can't shit on it, and they don't want the actors and people who worked on it feel bad, and it's they're inclusive, but they know that movie sucked and everybody hated it. But will this restore the glory of Ghostbusters? Yeah, it remains to be seen. It's getting a lot of Stranger Things comparisons. I don't really care about that. There's worse things that you could compare, a trailer to. Stranger Things was hugely popular, so it makes sense. But I don't know. As long as the character's there, the comedy's there, and they don't make a fiasco out of it, if they're able to give us the suspension of disbelief like the original could, but the 2016 reboot couldn't do, then I'm on board. I'd like to see a little bit more to get completely hyped for it. They didn't hype me up as much as I was hoping for, but what I'm seeing is really good and promising. One thing about Ghostbusters, the original, that nobody ever talks about, but I always bring up, is that Elmer Bernstein's music was such a huge part of that, the identity of the original Ghostbusters. They didn't have it so much in the second movie, and I think that's one of the reasons why I like the second movie less. But Elmer Bernstein's music was huge part of the original Ghostbusters. It gave it an identity and gave it a vibe that was really special, and you need that in a Ghostbusters movie. So I don't know, hopefully they're gonna tinker with that soundtrack and try to give us something that gives us some of those Elmer Bernstein riffs, because that will definitely push those buttons for me if they get the original type of score back in there. Other than that, it looks promising. I'm definitely excited to see it. I can't believe we're getting another Ghostbusters movie so soon. And hopefully, you know, all of us hardcore bust nuts out here can get a fucking redemption movie, because I miss loving Ghostbusters. I'll always love that original movie, but it just sucks that now when somebody says, hey, have you seen Ghostbusters? And you go, which one? You know? I just really hate that movie so much, but I love Ghostbusters. It's so yin yang. So I think the franchise needs a boost in the arm, and hopefully Ivan Reitman's son, Jason Reitman, got it right. I mean, he had his dad in there. He had his dad as a consult on this, so how could it be that bad? But we'll see. Times change, and sometimes you just can't recapture lightning in a bottle. So that's all I'm going to say. That's my review of the Ghostbusters 2020 Afterlife trailer. And thanks for listening. Subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. As always, stay awesome, stay R-rated. Cheers. Bye. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We've got a lot of great content coming for you this year. We've got reviews for movies, comics, and more. And of course, we will always have fan commentaries for the movies you love. Lots of talk about horror and just mainstream pop culture in general. And probably some Star Wars stuff leading up to Rise of Skywalker. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. And yeah, become a fan of the channel. Let's hear what you want to see. Leave a comment below, and just let me know what you think. Alright guys, talk to you later.